what it is, come and see it. You will be blown away. Literally blown away. Yes.
Okay, I'm not gonna say how old I am, but back when I was in school.
My name was a big brother, not the small.
Arithmetic. Yeah.
They would let us know about the aerospace. Okay, through the school. And
Right.
then they, I'm not, I believe, even though those are baby steps, we need to go back to that and, if you could form some type of media, get it out to the principals and to the parents and PTA, let them know the school does exist now.
That's a good point. Now I'm gonna get on my other soapbox. We at Davis, in me in particular, bought the PTA back. It was PAXA and LSCO and all the rest of that stuff.
Karen Ridge, where you get that, man?
Yeah, and that was to keep all of us out of the school system. So that if you didn't have a kid in school, you couldn't participate. And what that did, that gave them 4 years to lie to you and tell you, oh, we're going to do this, and at the end of 4 years, you go away. So then they start on the next group, and they lie to them, and at the end of 4 years, you go away again. So the deal is, we have to learn how they play the game. That's number one. Number two, there was a law that many years ago, it was in violation of the law if you taught black folks how to read and write. We have now gotten those black folks to the point where we refuse to learn how to read and write. We're doing it to ourselves. The last thing is we advertise our PTA meetings. We send flyers out for our PTA meetings. We make telephone calls for our PTA meetings. And we get 2 parents.
Wow.
2. And Keith is on that same committee I'm on. We can't beat folks into voting or showing up. Those are the 2 things that just wind my clock. Yes, sir.
Well, you have a person by the name of Shalonda Butler. She's fighting against you. She needs to go to federal court. She has that parent network, and all of them are kids.
Hey, we have several initiatives going on. We have one of our members works for one of the major airlines, and they have 3 airline miles. So what we're trying to do with our group is to say, if you show up to 3 or more meetings, then you can get in this drawing and get 3 airline miles any place in the country. So we're hoping that does things. We've tried food, we gave up on trying to get the parents. We're working on the grandparents now because they're usually the ones that know the value of education. We'll take anybody. We are not proud. If you got a better idea or something that will work, or you have some extra energy to expend, we can use it. We are really hard over at trying to figure out, break the code on what it would take to get a parent to show up for his kid. And that's really a tough nut to crack. We're working on it. Right. Right. That's why we're hitting grandparents.
That's right, but you got to keep doing it. And And then you gotta get those school board folks out there. And I'm gonna tell you, one, she was up there, she called me out, and said, well, I can call y'all, so they don't vote for me. I mean, that on her carpet, she should have been put in prison too. It's time to say this, people, she should have went to prison, she stole the children's money, and they're still up there on that school board. And, the one, two on this building, Roy Campbell, I'm saying his name, and, he's over at the City High now, the other one, with the big teeth. What's his name? Jimmy Sutton.
Yeah.
He at the City High, he don't stole money, y'all. He don't stole, that's why he over at the city, he got Beckham's job. I'm sick of seeing him, I work for the city, I said, I'm out of this meeting.
Yeah.
I'm sick of these folks.
Well, one of the things,
Yes.
I try to be a nice guy sometimes, and sometimes I succeed. However, I walked into a meeting at Davis several years ago, and I called and told them I was going to be late. I getting my sister out of the hospital, and I got there just as they were concluding the introductions, and they asked me to introduce myself, and I did. And I told a little bit about the school, and then I said, what you folks have done to this school is criminal, and somebody ought to go to jail.
Yeah.
And somebody did. So,
What happened to Nina, the principal over there?
what did I say? Somebody went to jail.
Say her name. Say her name.
So,
I think her last name was Hicks, I think.
Yes, thank you.
so you know, we've been trying to explain to them. We got a bunch of academics trying to do something in an area that they have no experience in, which is aviation. And they don't like the idea that they're not in the driver's seat, and they're not the cornucopia of all knowledge on that subject. We are, so that gives them a real hard time. But we still keep fighting, and like I say, there's still a lot of targets, still a lot of ammo.
That's right, and we're not going to give up yet either.
And the next meeting is Tuesday, the 11th of December, right? At 1:30 in the afternoon at the city airport, now known as the Coleman A. Young International Airport.
Okay, and I might want to add one more thing for Colonel Lee's too. Is that, well, it's like he was getting up.
Why you trying to put our guests out?
No. I want to make sure he can't escape. There's a difference. Why we got all these important people sitting here in this room? You might as well put the real, all the real. I used to be electrical inspector in the city of Detroit, but I also graduated from Aero Mechanics back in 1973.
All right.
Okay, y'all see, I learned all this stuff in high school, how to build airplanes, but I'm doing electronics. I became an electrician. I was electrical inspector. When I heard they was gonna move to school, first guy said they can't do it. They said, why? The area is not zoned for that school. They can't run the engine. This is before they move one piece of equipment. I said, what do you mean? I said, Davis Aerospace Technical High School at the airport is in an area and it is zoned light industrial, which means tunes and noise are okay. Golightly Vocational Center, I didn't say high school, Golightly Vocational Center is in the area zone residential light commercial, which means you can have offices and homes. What that basically means is you can move the academics over to Golightly, but you could never fire up the engines at Golightly. And the reason different, they said, well, it had auto mechanics. I said, there's a difference. The FAA is different. They are up at the top standard. If you learn to weld at Davis, you can out-weld anybody because you have to weld to the FAA standards, which means no flaws. Planes cannot pull over, park on the cloud, and call AAA. They require those engines run outside for a certain period of time in open air, unrestricted. Okay? When you test autos, they got a nice exhaust muffler system that goes under the floor, runs through the wire, and it comes up. People in the neighborhood don't even know it's running. You fire up the engine on an aircraft engine. they're gonna know about it blocks away. And on top of that, there's a senior citizen high-rise right behind the school. The fumes would cause everybody in there, if they don't die, they should come walking out there stumbling. So why would you spend all that money to lie to the people to say you are improving education when your original intent was to destroy education and deny blacks the ability to have access to education in aviation? You know, because aviation is at the top. Graduate from school, you can be an electrician, you can be a carpenter, you can be a plumber, you can be an electrical inspector. You know, you can be anything you want to be. I filled out the applications to be an electrical inspector while I was an electrician. I went to New York, but we were just talking a while ago about electricians not being available. I was getting letters from the city of Detroit while I'm in New York to come back home and be an inspector. So if the children can get the education, I'm talking about not just blacks, even though it is a black issue right here in the city of Detroit, but it should not be against the law to have aviation education available in the city of Detroit.
Okay, now Keith done wound my clock again. So, Keith and I both are graduates of Davis Aerospace or Aeromechanics. We're some of the first black graduates. One of the reasons that I have been pursuing this so vigorously is when I was there, I was the first black graduate of Davis or Aeromechanics. There was nobody there to help me. Nobody there to say, hey, look, dummy, don't do it this way, do it that way. I got now over 65 years in aviation. I've been an aircraft mechanic. I've been an avionics officer, which is aviation electronics that has to do with missile systems and radar systems on airplane, on the fighter aircraft. I've been an aircraft maintenance officer, a aircraft maintenance squadron commander, an aircraft maintenance group commander, and a base commander, and then I got too old, so they kicked me out. With 42 years of military experience, I have several patents for electronics, computer electronics, and I'm saying all that to say that's what Davis students do. I'm not the only one. We got guys at NASA, we got guys all over the world, and we don't wear a sign saying I'm great or whatever. So what we're trying to do is get the kids to where we are. Now there's a problem. There was a 1925 Army War College paper that was written that said the reason that we don't have blacks in the military or in aviation is because they cannot understand complex mechanical things. 1. 2, their brain is smaller than the white brain. 3, we cannot master theoretical things. Just every negative thing you could think of. And that held true from 1925 through the time the Tuskegee Airmen came in. And we all know that black folks can't fly because, you know, if God wanted them to fly, they'd give them wings, obviously. So the idea was we couldn't do all those things. And flying is one, and in fact, the bomber pilots that we were protecting and saving knew that there were not black folks in that airplane. They knew that they were not black, but they wanted it to red tails anyway because they knew that they would save their hide. So they said, yeah, send us the red tails, but not the black guys. So now here we are. Remember, that was a 1925 Army War College paper. We are rapidly approaching 2025. We're fighting the same damn battle we were fighting back then. And that, I wrote a paper to the school board. And in terms we can all understand, in deference to the ladies here, I really pissed them off with that letter. Because I brought up those same things, and I said, and everybody knows that that's what they say about these DPS students. We can't read, we can't write, we can't do math, we can't understand complex things, but we do. In spite of that. So we got a shortfall, and I'll get to you in a second. We got a shortfall of 1 million aircraft mechanics and pilots coming up in 10 years. And we don't have the capability of filling those slots. So the problem we have is, why are we shutting down this school?
That's right.
And so I got a real problem. And I'm sorry, you've been waving your hand for the last 20 minutes. Yes.
Davis Aerospace, I have a nephew that was there in the late 40s, early 50s. He's been flying from Davis up until now.
Right.
And when he went to the school years ago, he was saying that when he got there, they asked him, how'd you get there? Because at that time, mostly the students were from Grosse Pointe. They were sitting, you know, and he was wondering, you a little black student, how you get here?
That's right.
But, you know, and like through the years, the pilots have had their share of problems. And he's always had a job because he went to Davis Aerospace. See, not only could he fly a plane, he could fix it.
Right. And
And like I said, I just talked to him a couple for Thanksgiving, and he's still flying and
Can we have one
not
meeting,
ready to
please?
retire.
yeah. And that's critical. We do these things. And I'm going to quit with a quote from Winston Churchill. Some people don't like him, but he was smart. And he said, Americans can always be relied upon to do the right thing after they've tried everything else.
All right, thank you, Colonel Milford. Most people in the house know who I am, and I'm with UIN, but I'm Don Henderson, part of UIN, you know, been a city resident all my life. Do what?
Wait, Don.
Keith.
Don, hold on. Who's over there talking? Yeah, the business people. Okay, Otis Mathis should, sign up with, Don, and have a, channel on UIN with all of the positive information that you have. That would be a good.
We talked about that already. He already hit on me for that.
That's good, okay. That really should happen, okay. Now, everybody ready for us to continue this? Okay. We're gonna get to the wine in a minute. Go ahead.
Trust me, I won't hold you guys long, because I don't want to get trampled over. So, first of all, I want you guys to know, as Colonel Milburn was saying, we can do whatever we want to do, especially when we do it collectively. And one of the things that I know from my own personal experience is working with the internet and all that stuff, computers. When I was in high school, and some of you may remember, computers were as big as this room. I swore I wasn't going to touch a computer. But I am ingrained in this. I'm working with technology every day. And I brought that point up to emphasize the fact that we have a room full of information. And in order for us to get things like Brother Mathis, Colonel Milburn, and everybody else in here who has information out, we have to have our own media platform. And you say, what's the name of that platform? UIN. How much does it cost to get a subscription to UIN? because you haven't been on the internet. It's only $9.95 for this month to subscribe to all the information that we have in our library. Now, you don't have to, just go to it on the computer. You can use Netflix and all that other stuff. People use to watch Empire and all that crap. And I'm calling it crap because it's not supporting us at all. The only way to get wealthy on TV is to be a drug dealer. Come on, we got a colonel here who just said he fixed and flew planes. We got Anita. She sued the government and won. But what did you do? You sued them.
I sued them, and we're trying to get them to court.
Okay. Thank you. But you went up against the government, you're still around, right? Right. So
Don't say she can't win now, cause Sojourner Truth back in the 1800s sued the government twice and won twice.
Right. But collectively, we are personal libraries for the next generation. If you don't get your information shared with a broader audience, and if we don't stop just using those other platforms, they're just gonna attach commercials to what we do and say, oh, you got so many views, you're doing great, while they're making all the money. But we're not in it just for the money, but it takes money to do it. Because you're paying Comcast 10, 20 times more than you're paying us, and they'll never come and support a hood research meeting or anything else that we're fighting against. So UIN is that platform. You can come over to the table. We can promote and advertise with your help, grow this business, get more information out, educate our kids, keep politicians' feet to the fire, and stop all these other bills and policies and nonsense they're always putting on this extra taxation. Because we're creating a public record if you notice on your regular news networks, you'll see something, you'll never see it again if you don't know where to look for it. But they'll never tell you that you can't see it, but they don't help you find it if it's something important. But with UIN, you got people, Key, Henry, Theo, and Carl. We're all working together to build up not only UIN, but Hood Research and Cobra, the school for aeronautics, because I'm in the district. And they do not teach kids of any color on how they can become rich, because you'll never see a commercial on how to be a president on TV. But at one of these events, you might find out. So support us. It's cheap. You can also, as we grow, eventually make some money from watching TV, which you'll never get offered. And instead of investing your money 100% in all the other businesses that you've been investing in, and then they turn around and take it out your retirement, or they remove your retirement. Yeah.
Say that.
So I'm a believer in working together with those in the community, because I know we have the knowledge, I know we have the will, I know we got the wisdom. We just got to have the hope and belief that we don't need everybody else. We don't need to go to everybody else to get done what we want to do. So, with that said, thank you. Oh, go ahead.
You're welcome.
You got a question?
I had a real statement too. I wish I had read this on your, I don't think GM would have listened, though, because I went to all the UAW meetings and told them about this book, told them about this contract. We written it up, and they still voted yes. Just like the Teamsters, they just voted yes for 2%. This man just sold his casino for $1 billion, and all you got was 2%. I voted no.
Right.
For the contract.
But you can read that book. We have a writer's channel. So we want to remove the limits. So if somebody doesn't like to read, stop beating them over the head with it. Do something audio or video wise. And then they'll have the knowledge. Because knowledge is the new currency. Application of knowledge makes you wealthy.
Right.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
And one more thing, Keith, you keep interrupting. Well, that's because it's Christmas.
Yeah, it's 5:30.
It's Christmas. People, okay, I'm gonna be real quick with this. I'm gonna be so quick with this that it's gonna let you fly right past everybody. Okay, people been saying, Keith, we haven't seen you down at the city council meeting. I said, because I'm working on something. People say, I haven't seen you at the community meeting. I said, because I'm working on something. I said, Keith, we haven't seen you hardly anywhere. What are you doing? Well, I've been working with the colonel most of the time. When I am, I'm working on something. But the thing is, come next year, Hood's Research is going to come out producing the think tank on UIN, Urban Information Network. Okay?
Thank you.
I've been working, getting the groundwork for the productions together and stuff and everything, and it's going to be coming out live. And also, you'll be able to, by being digital, you can pull it up in the middle of the night if you want.
All right.
Okay.
The BDM pendant to the front, please.
Can I ask the Colonel a question?
Juana Morris.
Question.
Oh, hold on. We're
Hold
running
on
short
just
of
a minute.
time. We'll get
5:30.
questions at the end. So, Juana Morris, Hood Research would like to show our appreciation for you for all the volunteer hours that you give unconditionally for the betterment of our community and for Hood Research. So, thank you.
Oh, we gotta get close to Theo too.
Oh, yes, close to All right. All right. They did. Calm down. All right. Come on. Good. All right.
Okay. Now I have a question. Oh,
Look, hold on, I'm sorry.
yeah, more.
And Thabiti? Is Thabiti here? He was just sitting here.
The BDM,
Oh, there he is. Okay.
the BDM bender, front and center.
Thabiti.
Take off his coat.
Yeah. We would also like to honor you for all that you do and congratulate you on being a lifetime member.
To your right. To your right. Well, to your right. To your right.
You don't want the sign-in book on there.
No, it's not. Oh, yeah. There you go. All right, good.
Okay.
Say I'm very grateful for this. Now I finally got something to put on my wall.
Oh, wow. Okay. Gene Cunningham.
Oh, Gene.
Have you popped the cork yet? Yes. The wine tasting?
How long do you need?
Yeah, how long does it take?
It's got two reds, rose and a white. And if everybody wants to have it,
Uh-huh.
it'll probably take us 45 minutes, and then you might want to wrap them up that big red one.
Oh,
And I can talk about it a little bit, answer questions.
I see.
I've got a couple of articles back there. However you want to. I'm flexible.
Vera, Harry? We don't have 45. Yeah. They want us to go at 6 o'clock.
I'll tell you what,
Unless, yeah.
why don't we wrap up the big one, and I'll come back next year, and I'll bring another big one.
Okay. Who wants a raffle ticket for a big bottle of wine?
Let me describe.
All right.
It's a California red.
All right.
It's not real dry.
Uh-oh.
It's got a little sweetness to it.
Uh-oh.
It's very strong. It's 16%. and it goes with turkey, chicken, steak,
Yeah.
barbecued ribs, any kind of meat or seafood. It's a very versatile. You can even have it with salad, fruits, and everything. And it's an easy sipping wine. Like I said, it's not real dry.
Okay.
Nice and sweet. And you can start it off at say $12. Did we say?
What's
Yeah.
it? What's the
And it's worth more than that. Yeah. So,
What's the name?
it's called Via Armando, California wine.
All right. $12. Anybody bid $12?
And I've got a few articles over there. If anybody wants to read a little bit about some of the stuff I've written about wine. And
Okay.
if you've got any questions you want to ask about wine, I will answer them on your way out.
Okay.
But we'll definitely have a wine tasting, and I'll get here a lot earlier
Okay.
next month.
Anybody, do I hear 13? Anybody out there 13? 10 more. There, yeah, for the bottle of wine. We wrapped it off this bottle of wine.
$17.50 retail now. You're saving $5.
Okay, you got one over here, one over here.
Okay, I got 14. Anybody want 15? Anybody bid 15? 15.
Anybody 15, 15, anybody 15?
Okay, going once for 14. Going twice for 14. Sold to Lieutenant Colonel Milton for 14. Offer in the back. She don't be in here.
Just recall it. You want to recall it? 14.
And she bid more than 14 in the question? What?
She did the same time, so 14 was come out 14. 14.
Like different, make me a pie.
14? Well, what?
Percentage or something like that. Well, yeah, right. Yeah, let me get away from you.
Oh, okay.
Tell you what,
There are cards on the table.
You want to raffle too?
Oh, okay, we can raffle 2. Yeah. Okay. All right.
Hold on.
Okay, now, there are cards. We have a silent auction. Do we have all of the bids on the items on the table that you want to bid on the table?
I've got a rosé from South Africa. Retails $7.25. Start the bidding around 5.
Okay, 5.
South African rosé.
South African rosé. Anybody want 5? Do I hear 5? Do I hear 6?
You want me to carry it around? Here it is.
Okay.
Here's everybody. Oh, so how about you start off $5? You got to bid over here 5.
Carl, we get ready. What day your show come on? I missed
Whoever bids.
Very easy sipping wine. Not real heavy on the alcohol, but has a nice kick.
Do I hear 6?
Very
Do
satisfying.
I hear 6?
I hear 5.
6. Okay, I hear 6. Anybody hear 7? 7 for the rosé. 7 for the rosé. It's good for